Good afternoon, my darlings. We are going to get into this total lunar blood eclipse. So I have been getting ready to come to you, and we've got quite extreme weather that has moved in, cold, wind, thunder, and I have just seen the front page newspapers in my little village, and the front page newspaper says GPS stolen, gone on all the tractors of the agriculture. So I remember very clever Lavette, once in one of Lavette's videos, she says GPS, Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius. And of course, this is the mutable cross. And we are at the end of this mutable age. The whole war going on right now is between Jupiter, the ruler of Pisces, and Saturn, the ruler of Aquarius. So for this day, right now, today, the sun moves from Aquarius into Pisces, and at the same time we have got Saturn getting ready to move, but today the sun and Saturn are combust, almost completely conjunct, and this is happening as the sun, so as I speak to you, the sun is now officially in Pisces, and that happened so this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock this morning, the sun for me in France moved into Pisces. So this is all now getting ready for the full moon, and the full moon is going to be both on tropical and sidereal astrology. I've seen the tropical astrologers saying that it's the full moon is in Virgo, so here the sun is in Pisces, conjunct to Saturn, still in Aquarius, which is enormous because the sun is now in the home of Jupiter, and Saturn is on his last period from 2020 to now, going through this twin peaks, which represents the north, which represents the war between Pisces, Jupiter, Russia, Asia, Europe. Asia is kind of more the other home of Jupiter, Sagittarius, but this is the European maritime law, the Russian Revolution, and the American Revolution, and the French Revolution opposites. Virgo, the whore of Babylon. So as I speak right now, the moon is on Regulus, almost full, right about to come for tomorrow evening. So right between the 13th and the 14th, that moon enters into Virgo, into TESS. So I think that on mainstream astrology, that moon is going to be on Spica, TESS, Tesla, 369, TESS to d'Urberville, and all over the newspapers today. We have Tesla, the end of Elon Musk, the end of Tesla. So I'm going to take you to see that. So off we go. I went into the local bar this morning, and on the front page of the newspapers we have the Gers. So don't forget that's German, and it's Gers, and it's the 32nd department, and every village here begins with 322 Skull and Bones, which is the spring equinox. So G Gemini PS, the enormous case, so the flow, it means a stream of burglaries, agriculture taking out their GPS. So GPS is your direction, to find your direction, and the direction has been stolen, vol. So this is all about this gap that we're living right now. So I've just put this to the 14th, but we come back to today. So in this Vesica Pisces. So I have done, since I last spoke to you for the new moon. So let's go back to the new moon, because so much has been happening and I have done so much work for Patreon and on Facebook. I've tried to share with you on YouTube posts here and there. So it was on, what am I doing all the way over here? 28. Right, so we had the new moon on the 28th in Aquarius. So we're still, and then we had this big passage going through the yoni, which I called the spring break. And it was really so important when we had, so the talk of war, everything really began on that Mercury-Saturn conjunction in here. So if we go and see, so what was this? 25 is 9, 25-2 is 9-2, was the day I gave us Big Bang warning. The 25th, yep, the 25th of February. So that was it there, bang. So I had done a big post to say Big Bang date, and there we had Mercury Saturn, as today we have Sun Saturn. So this is very important. This is the yoni break. So it was on that day that the Pope, Pisces, is taken into hospital. So the Pope, so I don't know, February the 25th, so people are saying he's dead. He's, you know, we don't care about that. What is important is CM, the MC, Sirius, where we've got Mars in Gemini right now. So this 3773 gap of the Vesica Pisces from 3-7, the 7th of March until the 3rd of July, this passage for this last leg from the spring equinox to the summer solstice. So more is Rome, Rome, there's your windmill, the 4 directions, the GPS, the mutable cross. GPS, Gemini, ruled by Mercury, P, Pisces, ruled by Jupiter, and S, Sagittarius, and there's always one leg under the horizon. So, and this is the Vesica Pisces, this is the fish, we had the Dogon tribe, and as I tell you, Rumpelstiltskin is this brainstem between your crane and your poutine horizon, the breast. So you either make that capstone to the palm, the Adam's apple, or you make the corrects from the third eye, from your, you know, to the third eye. So the importance, we got all the 8 eights, the Pope. This is your Mercury, so there's Mercury, Saturn, the Cadeus, the rising of the Christos oil. Then we had Roberta, 88, so Roberta is Virgo, and the Pope, Pisces. This is the VirgO Pisces axis, where we have the North Node in Virgo, ending 18 months, and South Node in Virgo. So Sirius, this is Sirius Minor, this is the keeper of the 4 corners, the Persian king. So there he is. And this is the end of the mutable cross. And there is a guy called Andrew Cross, a YouTuber, that died. And I'm telling you, adventure, travel and outdoors, what happened to Andrew from the desert after YouTuber American Andrew Cross is dead, and that happened on the 4th of March. So just like in Narnia, Uncle Andrew, uncle is Jupiter, Andrew is the Scottish flag, and it's also the spiders and Spider-Man. Andrew Cross is made from, he created spiders from electricity, and that's why we have all the chemtrails on the blue sky. That's why we have Prince Andrew that fell And many people say, you know, they're a lookalike. Prince Andrew, if you look, it's the same face as Trump. So Andrew fell in England, and now he's playing this Rumpelstiltskin, this gnome. The people of the region where I live, they walk on their stilts like the Dogon people. So this is Andrew Cross. This is the Andrew Cross, and Andrew Cross dies at 36. The wheel, 360 degrees. So my goodness, I have to try and stay calm, because if you know the amount of information and how much I pick up every day, and I have to hold on to it and bring it out just at the right time for you all, to balance between all my readings and my work and to bring you this information. So I see this in the newspapers today. GPS, Tesla, these cars that come up, the wings of Lucifer. We arrive every morning with the fear in our stomach. So you've got the big lorry driver, we've got Jupiter in Taurus, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, Pisces, and Mercury about to enter Pisces and go retrograde, that rules Gemini, where Mars is now, and Virgo, where the eclipse is, and the South Node ends. So I always tell you, my village postcode is 32290, and in March, 3-4 years ago, they dug up all the streets. So yeah, and they've had the Black Prince in the newspapers for the 100-Year War, which happened, and they dug up our road, and they just left exposed all the skull and bones and all the poor women in that road. 2 of my great friends have had cancer, and they're still fighting cancer. They're coming out, but I mean, that energy is heavy to deal with. So you know that now Venus is the big star. Venus Catwoman is joining Batman, Jupiter, and Robin, Mercury. And that's why Marianne Faithfull, who married Mick Jagger, MJ, died on the day of that aeroplane crash. So there you've got Jupiter, Mercury, GPS, and at the same time in the newspapers today, there's a whole double page on the end of Tesla. So here's TESS de d'Urberville. TESS means to weave, the Spider-Man, the web of deception and lies. And we're at the Aleph Tav of the great eclipse. And I've been looking at all these. I've got all the eclipses open here. So we had the eclipse in 2017, and we had Mercury retrograde in Leo, Mars in Cancer. But what's important is we had North Node at the end of Water, Cancer, and South Node at the end of Capricorn, Saturn, as we now have North Node at the end of Pisces and South Node at the end of Virgo. And Venus was, looks like she's just in Gemini. So what else have I got here? I've got the total lunar eclipse. That's the one we're just about to have. And this is the 7th of September lunar eclipse, which is coming up, which is going to then be the North Node in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo. So if we look, so you see we had the North Node move into Leo in 2017, and now for this next eclipse, we're going to have the South Nodes in Leo. Whereas we had the North Node just coming in for that last eclipse. And I've also got the 8th of April solar eclipse that we had. So at that time, we had the beginning of North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo, and now we're ending it. So I don't know what Roberta Flack is doing here. Yeah, that was that other post I was on. Okay. So OSIRIS, the keeper of the four corners. This is just your brain stem. The brain stem, if you look at the back of this brain stem, that is the medulla oblongata, the that is your brain stem. I've showed it in many, many pictures. So here is the moon coming up at midnight, and then you will see, so Tesla is a 369 code. We've just had 3rd of March, 6th of March, 9th of March, where all this tension is building up. The Nicola Bully, remember, she went missing the last time Mars was on the bullseye, and now Jupiter is. So I've always said these Tesla chargers. So there's your brainstem. There is OSIRIS, the keeper of the four corners, your Rumpelstiltskin, your gnome, and it's all now between the gnome and the Ukraine. And this is what we've got: Pisces and Aquarius, Saturn and Jupiter. So the crest of Ukraine and the Khazarian Tamga, it's just Uranus, it's the diving bird. And there we see at 2:34, the moon is completely blacked out by the South Node. We cannot see that moon anymore, and they're telling us GPC, the direction, and Mercury will be beginning retrograde at the first time. So remember, Baghdad Cafe, that holds the wheat. Baghdad and JM showing you the rulers of the mutable cross, showing you the feminine axis, Virgo, black and white. So she's German, Austrian in this film, and this is Africa, Europe, Africa. So GPS, the fight to look. So TESS, no more Tesla. This is the upside down T. This is the Yellowstone. This is the constellation of, so she's sterile. And there is your Taurus, which is that upside down. There is the Y, the T of the Tesla, the sword in the stone. This is the Cairo. This is the P in the fish of the passage. So there you have Diana, and this is the Statue of Liberty. So Dogville, she's got the bird going up, and we also see the bird coming down, the wings, Marianne Faithfull. The Who, we've got, so Sagittarius, the Virgo girl, Notre Dame, the cross, D'Artagnan in the middle, and the maypole is Tesla. This is just the maypole as we come onto the fixed cross. So there is your sword in the stone. We're at the last LL, the two birds, Pete and Paul, two little dicky birds between Sagittarius and Pisces, Pete and Paul. And we've got, just as we arrive at this passage, they're telling us the GPS. And we have the sword in the stone. So we had the Pope 88, Roberta Flack 88. This is what I was explaining in my Patreon post. So came from lead BP to gold. So yeah, we had Paddington Bear go missing. I've explained Zelensky means green. It's the green lion. Then Paddington Bear goes missing. The red, blue. PB, from lead to gold. BP is this green lion eating the sun, and there Paddington Bear goes missing. So he was two 22-year-old men, the 22 Hebrew letters, Aleph Taf completion, from Basingstoke, were arrested on suspicion of theft. So the twin DNA strands missing, Mercury, and that happened on the 3rd. The day is 3-3, the tree to your spine. Yep, so much has happened. Ukraine, the Ark of the Covenant. And there we have, as just a reminder of Stephen Paddock, who jumped from the 32nd apartment, which is the Gers where I live. He jumped from the 32nd floor. Stephen Paddock so this was 2017. And there was this accident at the pyramids. There was this shooting in Las Vegas, the Vegas nerve. This is so from the 32nd floor. Remember that at Mandela Bay, MB, Black Madonna. So when I'm 64, it's the 46 chromosomes. And this is the cranium, the Ark of the Covenant, the pineal gland, the eyes, but also these are the whole eyes on here. So Venus began her retrograde on the 1st, and now Mercury is going to begin, and we've had the liftoff of Ariane 6. So Ariane 6 was on the front. That was an old one from the 6th of July 2024, but she was again on the front newspapers. So here you've got, this is what we see in Back to the Future as well. So they're showing both with their alien mask. They can't breathe, both of them. I can't breathe. And I showed you at Nazar, the big wave challenge. So the 396 line broke, the monkey got choked. Venus retrograde on the whale's tail. There's Venus. So we had Ukraine with Prince Charles. He's been showing us everybody. They're showing us. And that was the first quarter on the 6th of March. So we had Jupiter and the Moon making a square to Saturn and the Sun. And now Saturn and the Sun are completely. So this is Nazar under the big waves. You've got that yellow, green and red, which is your Lion, Zion, and it is that alchemical process between the red, blue, Paddington Bears gone missing, the green, and the Queen that wears green, the 14 pieces of OSIRIS. This is the all for one and one for all, and this Pisces, the Pope, the end. So also in the news, a whole load of dead fish, which also marks the end of this cross. Dead fish found, dumped. Something alleged illegal dumping of wasteful bycatch caught on camera. Probe into claims dead fish dumped in Sky Harbor. So this is something, again, it's showing you the end of Pisces. It's showing you what we're living now. So let's come back to now. See, I've already done 23 minutes. What have I been talking about? But it's just, we are there. Mars and Jupiter, the rulers of the opposite side of this Milky Way. They're now on the Silver Gate on each side of the midbrain, Osiris. This Milky Way is the gap in our heads, and they rule the other side where this 13th sign is being risen. Mars ruling Scorpio, Jupiter that rules Sagittarius. And there they are, bingo, Mars on Sirius, Jupiter, bang, on Aldebaran. And it's now this, this hero time to come for Prince William's birthday on the 21st, where we're going to have Mercury where Mars is now. So you see Mars is right on the scythe. This is this is communism. And we have got on mainstream, I would imagine the moon for this eclipse is going to be on Spica. So back to this post, Osiris. There's your Merlin, your Merlion, the sea lion in Asia. And we're at this splash as Mercury, and so that's the whale's tail. That is the cycle of Venus and Mercury. That's Venus and Mercury, and they are both going retrograde on the whale's tail, right bang on the whale's tail. And on this eclipse, there is Mercury beginning his journey. So in that film, More, Rome, that's shot in Ibiza, that famous film More, it's about the blinding of the sun. More film, Blinded by the Sun. Blinded by the Light, 2019 film. More. I remember when I covered Blinded by the Light film, the sun blinded me. Anyway, that film More, and we've got the new Rome, the death of the Pope. So the Pope has been in position for 12 years. This is the 12th house, and today we are the 12th, which is the day that the sun enters into Pisces. So 311 was Fukushima, 911 opposite was the Twin Towers, and the Twin Towers, if we put 9, if we put 9 here, and we put 2001, you will see that it was exactly the same passage. The sun was moving from Leo into Virgo, but the sun doesn't enter Virgo till the 16th. There we go, 16th, 17th, the sun enters Virgo. So it's this gap between the Leo and the Virgo, Sun, Mercury, and opposites, where the sun moves from. So the sun is in fall in Aquarius, and now it's moved into the home of Jupiter, as Jupiter is still on that bullseye. So this is why I'm showing you these pictures. The last leg, there's one leg missing. We've got Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and the Virgo hiding is black. We can't see Virgo. We've got the eclipse happening in Virgo. So that lion, this is why we see in the sky the chemtrails. It's the Andrew Cross, and Andrew Cross, the YouTuber, has just died. So the life of Pi, the Aleph Tav, this is the whale's tail, truth, Emmet. And so we had the Bridget Jones film come out, you know that. This is Dr. No, Peter Sellers. It's what we're living. That's the mutable cross, the four corners. And this is the Tesla. You know, this is the Virgo rising, the whale's tail, the Venus cycle as Venus goes retrograde, the wings of Lucifer, Jupiter. So we're ending those years of Saturn, ruler of the twin peaks of Capricorn and Aquarius, and now Saturn enters Pisces, the home of Jupiter. So Jupiter can become the hero, and we've got these peace talks going on, and you know that they're really holding us on. Are we going to see some war? I don't think it's really possible. I think that if there is, it's really this last cleanup, you know, COVID to now. There will be something very fast, furious, blackout, civil unrest. But I think they need to really bring in the new hero. But first they have to make sure that everyone really hates America, the true Twin Peaks, and to crown this new passage, this gap until we're fully on the fixed cross. And I think it's coming up for Prince William's birthday. So really this time period between 37 in that film Lucy's Ballad, Thelma and Louise, sung by Marianne Faithfull. That song that she sings at the age of 37. It's 37, and 37 backwards is L, and 37 to 73 is the last leg from spring now, 7th of the 3rd, to the 3rd of July, and Liberation American Day is the 4th of July. So it's really this gap and this war between the spring and the summer solstice, Jupiter that rules Pisces and Mercury that rules Gemini, because the 3rd of July is Gemini. Let's just switch that over. 3rd of July, the sun is on Sirius. So this is that last leg between Jupiter, Pisces, and Mercury, Gemini, and that's why we see all the time that 3773. So let's go and see this chart. That was the solar eclipse on the 8th, and this is the solar eclipse, lunar eclipse coming up. So it's in this gap. This is what's so important. We've got America, Russia, and I would say Europe and France kind of energy down here. Mercury, Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, with Mars in the home of Mercury and Venus in the Jupiter in the home of Venus, as Venus and Mercury are both about to go retrograde. So we're on these last degrees of the North Node in Pisces, last degree of the South Node in Virgo, and we're going to move on to that masculine axis. So this is the war for the spring and the fall. We've got the Pope over here ending 12 years as the Pope, Roberta Flack, 88 constellations, and the Pope 88, and Roberta Flack, who went at 88. So it's all about this gap and finding your khan, and dealing with your, dealing with your OSIRIS midbrain, and this gap, and going from, so, Virgo is all about duty and work and Pisces and self-discipline and self-sufficiency, and Pisces is chaos or spiritual transcendence. So, and fear, this is what I was writing in this post. Are you ready, gang, for the last leg? GPS, Tesla, it's the LA woman. G, Gemini, P, Pisces, S, Sagittarius. Jupiter rules Pisces, Sagittarius, Mercury rules Gemini, and Virgo, where the eclipse is. Virgo officially, am I filming? Yes. Virgo officially the last leg, hidden as Mars is in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, and Moon in Virgo, ruled by Mercury. They tell you blackout back to black. Tomorrow, last day of Virgo, Virgin, TESS, fertility, eclipse in Virgo. She goes from Virgin, TESS, d'Urberville, becomes the Uberville, from country life to the Sex in the City, from virgin to sterile whore. Eclipse in Virgo. Ruler Mercury retro opposite in Pisces, with Venus drowning in the abyss. So Saturn is going to move into Pisces. Let's come back to now. And we've got this. So this energy of Sun, Saturn is the story of my life. I'm born with this big conjunction of Sun and Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn in Pisces is, I've had to play my, as you know, all my planets are in the 12th and 6th house. And Saturn rules the opening the door, Aquarius, into my 12th house, and then Pisces sits in the middle with Aries opening my 1st house. But I had to really learn how tough Saturn and Sun conjunction is, I had to really suffer with the men in my life until I became my Saturn, until I realized what a big gift Saturn in Pisces is, because you can never drown, you can never go completely mad. You either can't cope with Saturn and you do just lose it completely. You just keep escaping, keep, taking drugs, alcohol, running away, hiding, or you face your responsibility as being of service to the higher spiritual level, being an influencer to the higher spiritual level. And this is what people will be pushed to do, to really find their spiritual path, to overcome being the martyr, being the victim. And that's what the lessons of Saturn in Pisces are going to be. This is the last cleanup. So are we going to have war? I mean, this is what we're living with Uranus. We've had, Uranus is right where it was in 1940 under L. So that's your 37. And this angle is also made as we have Sun and Saturn. So we had, just a few days ago, we had the moon on the 6th. There, Moon and Jupiter square to Sun and Saturn. So on that 36th, the day this Andrew Cross dies, it's the end of the mutable cross and that last leg, as Uranus is on L, Jupiter is on Is, and we've got Ra, Aries, the Aleph Tav closing, and that is making an L between Aquarius to Taurus. That 90-degree angle is the L, the 7. So, we may have a cleanup as Saturn enters into Pisces, because let's just see when exactly again Saturn enters. So Saturn enters Pisces on the 17th, on the 19th, so on the day that the Sun enters Aries. See, the Sun enters Aries just after, that's in Aries. And then on the 20th, Hitler's birthday, 4/2, Jupiter symbol, and we're going to have Easter Day on this date as well. So, we're either about to have the heroes stepping in right now, but I don't think people have really learned their lesson, yet, and the cleanup that has to come, and the level of fear that people have to be brought to find their mind, body, and soul, to find this higher consciousness, to find this AI, artificial intelligence, to find their brain, their life of Brian. So let's come back to now. Okay. So you see, we also have the triple goddesses. We've got this eclipse happening, Pluto in Capricorn, Uranus and Jupiter in Earth, and the moon. We've got the grand trine, Uranus, Pluto, and moon and south node. That is so revolutionary, with Saturn and the sun, so revolutionary. I've got this post that I posted yesterday. So we had the Commonwealth. She's wearing her reds for the full blood moon. And this article, Saturn combusts in Aquarius, anticipate major shifts. So yeah, I mean, it really is. So this is the Sun and Saturn conjunct. So this is Vedic astrology. So this is really showing us this massive change that this is going to bring as the Sun enters Pisces, the home of Jupiter, and Saturn is still in Aquarius to enter into Pisces. So this is really the end of what we've been living these past 18 months. We've had the was really marked by the Israel war. So Uranus doing his retrogrades between Ra and Is, and the Ukraine war began as we had. So the Ukraine war began in 2022, and Saturn was then when he entered Aquarius, and Aquarius is the true Ukraine, because Aquarius takes the spring. It's going to take the spring, and spring is the true north, whereas they've got Mercury still Gemini, they've got the wand of Merlin, they've got Osiris, they've still got this guy, they've still got angry Rumpelstiltskin, controls your emotions, the amygdala, the Mary Magdalene, and the brainstem, the bird and Rumpelstiltskin. So it's, and so, you know, it really is about finding your true upright, standing up straight, finding the true cross. But you've had your time, you know, the time is over, because now we're going back into Saturn in the home of Jupiter. So that's why I think that they're going to bring in a hero, and they've made everything so difficult with those Ukraine war, with Israel war, and now we're going to bring in the hero. But there might be one last wipe out as Saturn moves through Pisces, the last 12th door, and then we get rebirth as Chiron enters Aries, and Chiron enters Aries, and who else? That's the 7th of September eclipse. So Saturn's going to enter here Pisces, but here's Chiron that's going to enter Aries. And then maybe for this Easter, when the sun will enter Aries, Hitler's birthday, we're going to have Easter, Ishtar Day. So we might have a really crazy March. That's for sure. Okay, so let's finish looking at these posts. This was the post of the day that I said Big Bang, the Mercury Saturn conjunction in the gap, and it was on the 2nd of the 25th, so of February, the 2nd of February. So hang on, it was on, I'm getting confused, but this is the Blondie nuclear 25 units. That was the new moon on the 28th. Your hair, your air, the hair is the, you know, the hair is what you see when you make lead to gold in alchemy, when you mix that red and blue, that copper and iron, and then you get the green lion, you get the Zelensky, and you see the crystals that look like oak leaves, or the hair. The hair, your hair, the age of Aquarius hair is not the true air. So that was showing you the 225. So that's right, 225, 225. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was 9, 9. And that was the day that the Pope went into hospital. So this is definitely telling us something about stuff that's going on today. So today we've got Trump-Zelensky showdown. White House invites Ukrainian president amid ceasefire. So that he's jumping between Putin, the horizon, Ukraine, and the brainstem, and they're showing you that you've got to find your heads to lay foundation for peace. Now, don't forget that Venus is coming in as the big star. Venus rules Taurus. Venus is going retrogrades, and Venus is the new ruler of the summer solstice. So Venus is terribly important. She's the light, the Lucifer, the torch. Venus lights the torch of the wand of Merlin. So we've got And we're just going to go through the last posts. The Blackberry, you can ring my bell. And this, so again, they've got all in the newspaper. So that was last year. It's now 11 years. So 37 is L. M is 13. H is 8, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, it's 21. It's the passage. The Trudeau is the president of Canada who stepped down, which is your passage. The VirgO Pisces, Trudeau. So they've left the ON on, and they've got all about this, keeps coming up in the newspapers. And it's all about finding your capstone. It's the last leg, 7th of March to 3rd of July. 21 is your MH, and it's to find. So we could be having some kind of wheels within wheels. Right, that's the end of that. Going through the important posts of stuff I've been doing. What's that? Says it all. 323223 twin dead 32 parts of Martyrdom, Merline. Oh yeah, Tor. Glastonbury was lit up by gold. The Merline, gold, orange is the new black. Tor, Torso, Tora, Taurus field. Uranus leaves Aries tomorrow. 3-3. Wow. Was it really only tomorrow? 3-3. Let's go back to now. It's just so much to remember. The 3-6-9. So on the 3-3 vertebrae, we had. No, that's 2022, please. No, come back to now. 3-12. So where's Uranus? Did Uranus? I thought Uranus left. Uranus was in Taurus. Yes, Uranus did leave Aries on the 3-3. My God. That's why we have to go back over everything. Aries, OSIRIS, L returns to Tav tomorrow. Jupiter on Bullseye. Okay, so that was me getting excited about those pictures. Venus was bang. Just begun her retrograde in the V for Victory. So this is really, and we've got Tor Glastonbury. And that was my name. That's what my mother called me, and all my family used to call me Tor. So then we had me saying the splash is coming, save Willie, Ukraine, York Khan, the Baal N, Prince of Wales, Wales, Charles de Gaulle, Venus retro on the Will I Am Telltale, Mercury next, also on the Whale's Tail. So it's all about making your third eye pop. So then Ukraine, Le Khan, the Ark of the Covenant, Ukraine, your crown, your brain, Brian, life of Brian, the skull, cranium, pat, crown, top, cranberry star died at 46 chromosomes when I'm 64. So you can read that. And that's, you know, all that. Then you've got, that's the Ukraine. Showing the yoni, showing you this passage. It's the water. Moon has just entered Aries. Okay. So then they have their meeting on the 3rd of March. And you know, I mean, it's, so then this is the president of the Ukraine doing his little dance. And so, you know, it's the horizon. He's showing you the horizon. Amazing. Okay, and then we had, again, on the 3rd of March, split in two, the twin pair of balls, parables, split your crane, P16, B2. So don't forget, the 16th of February is the day that the sun enters Aquarius. And today, the 12th of the 3rd, is the day that the sun leaves Aquarius for Pisces. So Paddington Bear got stolen on the 3rd of March for the 369. The true air replaced by B2 16P summer solstice. So you get that. The true air is the 16.2 PB, Paddington Bear, BP. So what do they do? The biggest oil spill ever by BP. BP is the Green Lion. It is that finding that true green lion, and they've got Zelensky, the green man, playing Ukraine. So, you know, he's going to get saved, but Ukraine is not the true spring solstice. The true spring solstice. So for the spring, this is the spring equinox. We have Aquarius on the meridian. So this is at spring, and we've got Virgo right on the touching of America. And Virgo is going to have the eclipse, is going to have the blackout, but we're not quite at the spring equinox yet. So you see, it's for the winter solstice that we have Aquarius in South America and Capricorn in North America. So Air Ryan Imposter countdown to Prince William's birthday, the 21/6. Lion, King, 2 twins, 22BB, 22BB, 22 is also V, and we had Venus on the 3rd of March, right on that V. There's Venus in the V and the moon on the other side of the V. Okay, so that was pretty amazing. And there, the Torso Taurus Tor field, red, blue, and the green lion. Zelensky means green, it's gone. Your crane, brain, Brian, BP is led to gold. Did you make it? PC, Cops, Pollux, and Castor on each side of Paddy Bear. So showing you Gemini on each side of the BP. When the spring should be Aquarius. Moon was in Aquarius, the true air, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Salt, Sulfur, Mercury. So then again, you can read that. I've put it in all my posts I've been sharing on YouTube. So look, he's showing you with his sandwich as well. That is the constellation of Taurus. That is the Y, the Yellowstone of the fertility, and it's also the torso fields. So he's now got red and yellow and Christmas tinsel. Interesting. Red, yellow, and an empty shell. So that is the famous Frenchman of the series Apostrophe. Apostrophe is the 6/6 or the 9/9. And there's the 2 policemen, Pollux and Castor. The Queen, the green, the Corgi, PB, the Green Lion, BP. Energy is the green. It is the donut, and they're showing you that is the Poubelle is PB, the Jack in the Box, Saturn and Jupiter. And the new. So then we had the first commercial launch of the European Ariane 6 rocket scheduled for Monday. And something happened again. I'm not sure if it actually went off. And I told you D'Artagnan, my village, is going to be voted. 12 villages in France to be voted. And Lupiac takes the 12th place, which proves that the spring equinox, Pisces, 12th door, as the Pope is the 12th in his 12th year. And here we've got the bullseye, raging bull. So that's showing you the eyes and your third eye, or the apple being in your throat, the big apple, America. The William Telltale, the breast of Venus, Midnight Express, and Jack and Jupiter and Venus, putting Venus on the cross with Jupiter. Superman, red, blue, Pete and Paul, OSIRIS were at that cross, the bird in your can and the egg. You are the portal. So, you know, it really is all about this line. This is the Liberty Pole and the little hat, the noddy, the fez cap is not the true, it's not the true cap. It's not the lamp. It's the land, the BP. So again, in the newspapers, Abbé Pierre. This is the name of the book that was written in my village. There is your Abbé Pierre. The fez cap, the tour. And that is the book of my village. And there's my church, Saint-Saturnin, Gascon, my countryside. The main character in this book is Germaine Elements. Images. No. Germaine Elements. 32. So germanium. 32. 72 makes the last angle of the 5-pointed star. 5 times 72 gives you the 5th element. So by Will I Am. Trump, the gnome. Okay. Baron, the medulla oblongata, and there's Arian Cease was in the newspapers in July. The 6th of July is 67, 76. And the element 76 is gold. Element 76. It's 67 that's gold. What element is gold? Osmum. Which gold element is what again? 79. Right, 60, 76, 79. So 1984, that eye, it's the fist, the all-seeing eye, geranium, Bill and Ben, Back to the Future. Those are the little hats. Amélie Poulain. And there is your Rumpelstiltskin. It is your medulla oblongata meeting the bird, Canada. The Anna, the can of adders, your Ukraine. So we had the adder. This shows you that donut and that horn of the bull, the torso and the vesica pieces. The bull, Taurus, the Minotaur, creation. So there's your Back to the Future, which is that Y, which is Taurus, where Jupiter is, the Hierophant, and there you have, and that's what we saw in Atomic. So this is the Y, this is the stem of Osiris, the eyes, your midbrain, MB, Black Madonna, MB again. Okay. So then we had the Oscars or whatever, on the 4th of March, so it was the day before on the 3rd, and then I came to my attention this film, Emilia Perez. So you had Mick Jagger, MJ, the day before we had the Oscars, El Mal. So this film is called El Mal, which means the evil. Live, Elvi, Leviathan, Cetus, where we've got everybody in Pisces. On the 2-3, okay, so yeah, it was on the 3rd of the 2nd, 23 DNA strands, 32 paths of wisdom, Jupiter and Mercury, Mick Jagger, Marianne Faithfull, Lucifer rising, officially announced. Venus is her name, Jack rises rose, the new dawn, golden age cage is here. Venus is peace. She rules feminine, fertile Taurus, but she has been inverted, perverted, made sterile. God created his woman, free Martin, to Libra masculine. Aphrodite rises from the shell, BP, Paddy Bear. Sterile, barren, frozen, freezing embryos. The procedure involves removing eggs from the ovaries, fertilizing them to create embryos, letting them grow for several days and then freezing them. L3773, as Uranus is exactly under Algol L. So, and then you've got this film. So, Émile Pérez is a 2024 musical drama written and produced by Jacques, of course, Odia. The plot follows a Mexican cartel leader who stages a fake death and undergoes gender reassignment surgery to live the life she's always dreamed of. With the help of a lawyer, she secretly reconnects with her ex-wife and children. So there's Mick Jagger, MJ, Mercury, Jupiter, suddenly appears on the stage unannounced. And that is so they're showing you the triple goddesses, and this is what we've got for this eclipse. We've got Pluto in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus, and Moon South Node in Virgo. So we've got, and Lucifer Sigil in the middle. So the Oscars, they're showing you. 33, is M, she is Mart. And there is the Oscars. Uranus is right there on that 3-3, the spine, the Apollo crew, the triple goddesses, there they are. And this is from the film Lucifer Rising. That is a clip. And this is the heart, Taurus. Got this train, it's the Vesica Pisces, L, I keep telling you L, and this film is called L. So the devil and the bride, and that is, again, the triple goddesses, and that is exactly Venus has now, and we're in this Cairo. There's been a lot in the news. There's been a Caroline or something as well. So Venus was absolutely born for that crash they showed you over Washington, D.C. And now we've got the blood moon in Virgo, Rose. Venus retrogrades. V for Vendetta, Frozen, they show you Frozen, that's the embryo, she's sterile, she's frozen, and today on the newspapers we have GPS and there's no Virgo. Fertility, Stepford Wives, and there is 3-7, 7th of March, 3rd of July. Whale's Tail, and that was Venus on the 3-2-25, right in the V for Victory, and that was the Oscars. So Catwoman is Venus, that is the orb, that's Venus, and that is an upside down Venus. And Venus is now retrograde. So that's how we see everything is upside down, reversed. Green Martins, Mars, Venus. Okay. So this is the ballad of Jordan, Nile, Lucy, the ballad of Lucy Jordan. So LJ, Justice League, Jacob's Ladder, LJ. So Jordan is the Nile. Luce JL is in film. You've got the cut. So we've got this timeline split. We're really two different worlds of people. Those still under the influence of Jupiter and those who have found that Saturn. So that song, The Morning Sun Touched Lightly on the Eyes of Lucy Jordan in her white suburban bedroom in a white suburban town. So that's what I said to you. We've got from Uber, from Tess d'Urberville to Uber, from the country girl to the city girl. As she lay there neath the covers, dreaming of 1,000 lovers, till the world turned to orange and the room went spinning round. At the age of 37, she realised she'd never ride through Paris, I can't remember the tune, in a sports car with the warm wind in her hair. And she let the phone keep ringing as she sat there softly singing pretty nursery rhymes she'd memorised in her daddy's easy chair. Her husband, he was off to work and the kids were off to school, and there were oh so many ways for her to spend her day. She could clean the house for hours or rearrange the flowers or run naked down the shady street screaming all the way. At the age of 37, she realised she'd never ride through Paris in a sports car with the warm wind in her hair. So interesting, that is the 3-7, which is L. Okay, so that was my newsletter for tomorrow, first quarter moon on the 369 after the new moon, the 28th of February in Aquarius. We now have that first tension before the full blood lunar eclipse moon on the 14th, as Mercury, ruler of Virgo, mutable earth, and Gemini, mutable air, will go retrograde as the moon will be in Virgo and Mars is in Gemini, opposing the sun in Pisces. So I wrote that 369, the line broke, the moon key got broke, and basically I wrote that, and then the next day something enormous happened because I get lost. At exactly midnight on the 636, the internet cut. Orange cut. The line got broke, so and nobody would have noticed because it was just me up at midnight. So on the 6336, internet cuts for exactly 1 hour 30, which is 99.3, which is exactly the 369. So that all happened. So with what we've got in the newspapers now, is there going to be some kind of cut? Or Rome, Croco, so it's all run in Morocco. The orange runs my telephone, and it is the orange mafia, the 369, the clap song, Hermes, the messenger, Mercury, nuclear, the line broke, the moon key got choked. So hold on. Orange orangutan. So we've got storm. So I had to make this video right now because I just felt you got to do it before that line gets cut. So there, we still don't know the news if my village has won, but I reckon that D'Artagnan, Lupiac, the orange cat kills the egg, Palestine, Jaffa, the Joker. So that was the 3-6, the moon conjunct Jupiter and the sun conjunct Saturn, and now we've got the Sun and Saturn in that gap. Okay. So that was what came out in the newspapers that day. La patrie a besoin de vous. PB, BP. So he announces war. He announces war, but everything's moving so fast at the moment. They say one thing and everything changes the next day. So, you know, everything is changing. So it's just the same pictures. Let's move on. Right, so tomorrow was the day they voted to see whether D'Artagnan, so perched on the rolling hills of the Gers, Lupiac, that's Lupercalia, hero of Alexandre Dumas' novel, The Three Musketeers. And that, what do we have? GPS on the newspapers, the three, always one leg missing. Alongside the seven, so there's the village. Okay. So this is that path of northeast, southwest, which is the same path of Jacques de Compostelle. It's authorized Jack and the beanstalk and this whole ridiculous green movement, and the whole of where I live is going to be black sun worship. All the fields are going to be covered with these solar panels. Okay, so I had my first, oh yeah, and then this woman goes missing, whoever she is, Pamela Back. So, you know, Pamela Back. And then we have in the newspaper that, so that was a post from the year before, the 7337. And then this guy goes missing on Woman's Day, the 8th. Andrew Cross. So I've showed you that. Okay. Trump is the garden gnome. Ommo, Momo, medulla oblongata is your brainstem. The wand of Merlin, high priest, priestess. Your crâne, UK Ren, is the vertical, and Putin is the horizontal line null. We're in the gap, the split of humanity. Those still not found, Brian the brain, and those who have. The medulla oblongata is the connection between the brainstem and the spinal cord, carrying multiple important functional centers. It is comprised of the cardiovascular, respiratory, regulational system, descending motor tracts, ascending sensory tracts, and the origin of the cranial nerves. Right. So we're nearly at the end. So we've now got the dancing from 2020, and now all the soldiers are dancing, which for me feels like we're at the enormous Crocodile Dundee cleanup, Pulp Fiction cleanup. Okay, so we've made it back to the post. So I just did a post about there are 56 Commonwealth Games, and they have that Commonwealth. So the Commonwealth used to be quite interesting. It used to be known as the Empire, and then they changed the name to the Commonwealth. So to finish, this is an interesting post. So I just added that, which I'm going to add to the video so you can read it. But this was something from Rudolf Steiner. Rudolf Steiner is eloquently describing the recycle of souls here, and ironically at the same time he is disclosing ever so vaguely the chemical poisoning of humans which prevents our own fluctuation of soul consciousness from exiting through own command of frequency vibration, which is instead harnessed in a system, as he describes below, run by another species. So, we don't, Rodolph is red and Steiner is the stone, the third eye. It's the stone, Stein, pale Stein. So from pale Stein to red Stein, and we've got the red, the blood moon. So a magnet for evil thoughts. Eclipses of the sun and moon reoccurring as they do in the course of every year may really be looked upon as safety valves. A safety valve is there to avert danger, to provide an outlet for something or other, steam for instance, on the right moment. One of the safety valves which makes its appearance in the cosmos and to which we give the name of the solar eclipse serves the purpose of carrying out into space in a luciferic way the evil that spreads over the earth, in order that evil may work havoc in a wider, less concentrated sphere. The other safety valve, the lunar eclipse, exits for the purpose of allowing the evil thoughts which are present in the cosmos to approach those human beings who are desirous of being possessed by them. In matters of this kind, people do not, as a rule, act in full consciousness, but the facts are nevertheless real, just as real as the attraction of a magnet for small particles of iron. Such are the forces of work in the cosmos, forces no less potent than the forces we analyze and investigate today in our chemical laboratories. So interesting. I'll add this to the video so you can read that. And I'll add a link to that as well, because that's interesting. So I'm going to leave you, as always, and basically the importance of this is the changing of the North-South Node. It's really ending that great eclipse time from 2017. And then when we have the next eclipse, we have the next one, which is the 7th of September. We will then be on this new axis. So it is this movement from, as Saturn moves from his home into the home of Jupiter, the North Node moves from the home of Jupiter to the home of Saturn, and vice versa with the Sun. The Sun will be in Leo. We've now got the Sun in Aquarius. The Sun has just moved into Pisces, and the Sun at that time will move into Virgo. So it's really the 311, 911 axis. 39 is the 369, and it's all about this closure of the wheel, the end of the age of Pisces, and Jack and the beanstalk being risen as we have Jupiter and Mars. So at that time, Jupiter will be where Mars is, and Uranus will be ever, Jupiter will have moved on, but we'll have Jupiter working with Uranus, and well, that's actually where Jupiter is right now. So Jupiter and Mars, it's so important. This axis is where they're rising the 13th sign of Fukushima. So this is now the summer solstice, the winter solstice, and there we have the spring break. And again here. So they're showing this is the new cross. So basically it's all about finding your correct cross, standing up straight. And that's all, because timelines are shifting. And if people still can't see through the cinema, that we've got Crocodile Dundee doing his last cleanup. Okay, my darlings, I love you very much. Please come for readings. Join us on Patreon, and I will leave links to my site and Patreon. Bye for now. Bye, darlings.